Hello there, Aries. Thank you for stopping by for your monthly in-depth tarot video forecast. This is for the month of October, and the first section that we're going to cover is going to be a 10-day section. After that, we're going to do 1 week at a time, but for this time, we're going to start off with October the 1st through the 10th for you, Aries. Let's see what comes up, shall we? Feel like I'm not done shuffling yet. Well, meanwhile, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing this video with others, and thank you for giving it a thumbs up. Also, of course, thank you to those of you, here we go, now we're done shuffling, who order private readings and private Reiki sessions from me. It is because of all of you guys' support at every single level that I'm able to do what I love to do for my living. So thank you very much. Okay, excuse me. Let's get going, Aries. We're going to start with your environment, and your environment is any place where you have energy or effort invested. A lot of times it's home, but it doesn't have to be. It can also be work or school or any other place where you have energy invested. So you want to sort of have an open mind on this. Do you see a new beginning when it comes to your environment? And I think that that new beginning for some of you has to do with this idea that you were sharing an environment with somebody else, and either you or that person has just decided that, you know what, don't want to share the environment with you now. Or you may be deciding, I don't want to do things the way that we used to always do things. And so you may have a new start where you're doing things in a different way so that things work out better. Or you may actually be going into a new environment that you don't have to share with that person anymore. And this could be at work or at home or any other place where you have energy invested, like I said earlier. Okay, let's look next at your subconscious leanings, Aries. Aries, it looks to me like you're feeling a little bit stumped, like you've got some kind of problem and you're not exactly sure how to solve it. And that's unusual for you guys because you guys are the ultimate in problem solving. You think outside the box. You don't let people tell you what the answer is. You find the answers that work for you. So for you to be stumped is kind of a big deal. But I think you're feeling pretty stumped here, and it looks to me like the reason you're feeling stumped is because you have given somebody a second chance. And even though you've given this person a second chance, they really haven't come back as strong as you would hope they would. So maybe they aren't doing exactly what they were doing before, but they're certainly not meeting the expectations that you had hoped they would whenever you gave them this second opportunity. Okay? And so that's what you're working with in your subconscious mind. Like, how are you going to handle that situation moving forward? Next thing that we're looking at talks to me about two different things, learning style and also communication style. So we'll start with learning style for you at this particular time. I think you have some kind of truth that's coming in out of left field for you. I don't think that you're prepared for this. I think that somebody brings this to you or somebody tells you this truth. I don't think you're even expecting it. I don't think you're looking for it. I don't think you're digging for this truth. I think somebody just says, hey, what you need to know is da 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 da. And I think that this truth is not only unexpected but also shocking. And it's shocking enough that it does change your perspective on something that makes you feel secure in life. Other things I want to see about your learning style, because there is more. That was just the first one that jumped out at me. Your learning style during this 10-day time frame. You're very quick at picking up information. So it's not like, even though this thing has totally surprised you out of the blue, you're very much aware of what's going on around you. You're good at picking up information. It's not that you have just missed something. If this thing is coming at you out of the blue and surprising you, it's because somebody was keeping this a secret before. And all of a sudden, they decided to just slam you with this thing. What do they say? Drop a bomb? That's what this feels like to me, because you're very aware. You're paying attention. It's not like you're just kind of lazing along as far as what you're paying attention to in life. And I think that this really causes you to see red. I think that this truth that comes out of the blue really makes you angry. But it propels you, it motivates you to find out information about things that you hadn't found out about before, to kind of start going in a different direction. I think whatever this truth is makes you want to sort of go in a different direction from where you were planning on going before, whether that's with your career or whether that's something in your personal life or your home or whatever. Okay? I think we're testing the tornado system. I think that's what that is. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. La da 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 da. Let's look at communication style. La da da la da da. Okay, so during this time frame, I think that some of your communication is coming across in a very blunt way. I don't feel like painful. I feel like it's, I feel like you're just communicating very openly. I don't feel like you're holding things back or you're hiding things yourself, okay? I do feel like there is a person or a situation around which you're communicating where there is a lot of emotion. And I feel like even this communication is sort of the destruction of a situationship or an idea or a project that you were working on. I really feel like this communication, and I feel like this kind of has to do with what's told to you or what's revealed to you, that it kind of takes it, it's kind of out of the blue. I think the communication around this is something that brings destruction to a situation, to be honest with you. And I see just a lot of fiery, passionate communication. I think a lot of this has to do with anger and hurt. I'm not seeing a lot that has to do with passion, like in the bedroom type passion right here. I could be wrong, and if I am, we'll see more evidence of that later on in the spread. But for right now, it just feels like there's a lot of anger, a lot of hurt coming out of this. I think you feel like somebody has really betrayed you or offended you in such a way that I'm not sure you even are able to control your expressions about how you feel about this completely. Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear this on the microphone or not, but I also don't know how long this testing of the system lasts. I hope it's over soon. La da da da. La da da da. Next thing that we're looking at talks to me about your work. Now remember, I'm strange about work because I see it as two different things. I see it as that thing that we do to make a living or to be paid. I also see it as what we do to improve our own inner selves. Okay. Okay. Seems like the alarm testing thing is done. Woo woo. I'm sorry if you guys could hear that. I know it was pretty distracting for me. It probably wasn't really fun for you either. Anyway, let's look at work. Let's look at the outside version of work first, or the material version, the part where you're making money, hopefully. Aries, it looks to me like you are getting yourself set up to do something that is on your own, to do something that's not related with a company or an employer-employee type relationship for you. So I don't feel like you're actually on your own doing this right now. So this could be that, you're just getting everything in place to be able to do that, and you still have a regular job that you're going back and forth to. You're just not ready yet to make that leap and cut away from that job, which, for a lot of businesses when they first start out, the owners do, or the founders do, have to work another job for a while to keep all the bases covered, basically. The other thing that could be happening is that you have something going on where you're putting out a lot of money to get this structured correctly and get it up and running. And then once you do, you're running this, and you're probably the sole proprietor of this, or the sole person that's responsible for this. But once again, I do see a delay even in this translation. And with this translation, we're looking at a delay that, has to do with getting permits or paperwork or some type of red tape to get this thing actually up and running. So if you're in a situation where you're working and you're just doing this on the side, it's probably good that you have that to fall back on while you deal with this bureaucracy type stuff. But if not, then just expect that there's a delay, that you're going to have to kind of make accommodations for along the way before you go from setting up the idea to actually being able to act on whatever that work idea is for you. Now, la da 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 da, let's look at inner work. I think there's something going on here where you are really pouring out your feelings, Aries. Some of you could actually, just be crying. Crying is a cleansing thing. It's very cleansing and helpful. And I think that for some of you personally, your work could be letting go of some feelings and giving yourself some time as you transition into doing things in a more independent way than you've done before. Okay. All right. Next thing that we're looking at talks to me about that part of your personality which is being grown or expanded as you go through this particular time frame, Aries. All right. So it does look like you have some kind of goal that you're trying to reach with another person or with even a group of persons that is sort of being thrown off track, or there are obstacles that are being put in front of it. I don't want to say that you're not going to reach that goal. This card generally to me doesn't mean that you're not going to reach that goal, but there are some slowdowns along the path. There are some obstacles that have to be overcome first. But I do feel like you have a good support network around you. You have friends around you who are supporting and uplifting you as you move forward. And even there is a person that comes in, shows up to me as probably a female water sign, doesn't have to be, could just have water prominent in their chart, sun, moon, or rising, in their chart, like we pick out our charts. I'm just going to put this in my cart, put in a little Aries here. Anyway, it looks like you've got a female water sign who is somebody who is especially supporting you as you go through this process, but you also have a lot of good friends and support who are helping you as you figure out how to get things back on track for yourself and for your life, in goals that relate to yourself and to others. Okay. Next thing that we're looking at talks to me about something that you stand for. It looks like you've been really stressing out a lot. And the reason you've been stressing out, Aries, is because you've been holding tight to a secret that you haven't been sharing with other people. You haven't felt like it's a good idea to do so. And so I think at this point you must have spilled the beans to somebody, because you're having to stand up to them about, well, why? Why did you keep this such a secret? What was going on in your mind that made you think that this was a good thing to keep a big secret like this? And it does feel like a big secret. How the other person sees you this is going to be the person that was asking you, why would you try to keep such a big secret? That's just a lot of extra stress for yourself. The other person sees you as somebody who can very coldly cut people out of your life. Basically, they're seeing you as somebody who can just put up the boundaries around between you and somebody else and just be very cold about who you interact with. And then just, it's interesting. It's almost like they do this as you create a problem for yourself by not interacting with some of these people. So apparently they feel like these are people that maybe you should have interacted with, in their opinion. And they feel like by cutting these people out of your life, you make things harder than they need to be. And then you try to get past the disappointment of things being harder than they need to be. And you do that by working with the opportunities that are left in front of you. This person who is from the outside looking in feels like you're the one that is making yourself have to get over disappointments to look at other opportunities, though. Interesting take on you keeping a secret. All right, Aries, let's look next at the pivot point or the flex point during this particular time frame. This is where things start to change up a little bit for you during this time frame. Maybe even dramatically, just depending. What do we have? What do we have? You've got a situation here where you're going to contact with somebody that you used to be attracted to, and you're telling them, I think you're telling them up front, I think you're saying, not talking to you anymore, don't contact me, really don't want anything to do with you anymore. We have spent enough time together, leave me alone. Okay? Now, what's going on at the same time that this is happening? Part of the same time, and part of the reason that this is happening is because you have your heart broke. And I think it was sudden and unexpected for you. I think that it came out of the blue that this person broke your heart, and you're just not happy. There's no satisfaction in this situation. To me, this is really nudging me that this is home life that we're dealing with. So this isn't about work. This is about personal stuff. And so somebody has broken your heart, somebody in the family or a romantic interest. And I don't think that you saw this coming. And so that's why we can see right there that that would be the motivation for saying, you know what, I think you've done enough. I don't want to talk to you anymore. And really just shutting down communication with that person. What else is going on at the same time? This whole situation has sort of thrown you off of your whole manifestation game. Aries, you guys are some of the best manifestors that I know. And for you guys to be thrown off of your game, this has to be something pretty big that has thrown you emotionally to where you can't even find things to laugh about or to make fun of or just, to smile about even. So it's this, whatever this is, this heartbreak has really thrown you off your manifestation game. And I think that what's going on here is that this has to do with a love situation, whether it's romantic love or whether it's close friendship or family member in a general reading. But there's other people that have taken away this person's attention where they were giving attention to you. And so those other people have sort of robbed you of this person's attention. And so now you're just angry. You're just angry, and so you're having a hard time manifesting because, you're having a hard time staying in that positive mind space right now because of the negative feeling. What's going on when we get to the end of this time frame for you, Aries? Wow. I think you guys are coming to a point of acceptance that this relationship that we're seeing earlier, that's a personal relationship, I think you're coming to the acceptance of it's just not working. It's just not working. And I really think that this is not so much an acceptance that you're coming to on your own, as much as this is something that you're being pushed into accepting, probably by the other person. By the other person saying, you know what, I'm not willing to put any more interest or any more time or invest any more in this relationship because it's not going anywhere. And so I think this is what's causing you to accept the idea that this is just not working out. No matter what kind of solutions you try to come up with, no matter what, this is probably your second chance that you gave somebody that just, you really wanted it to work out. That's why you gave them the second chance. And now you're just coming to this acceptance point of it's not working. It's not working. And so it's time to refocus and figure out where do you go from here. Okay. So that's the end of that time frame. I'm sorry that we didn't have anything that was more roses and daisies and cheerful, but I can't help you if I'm not honest with you. And the beautiful part of doing these readings ahead of time is that if you want to, you can find ways to change the energy so that they don't come out the way they show up in the cards. So let me take a little break. I'll come back and we'll take a peek at the next week of October. Okay, Aries, are you ready for me again? We're going to be looking at October 11th through the 17th for this segment of our video. I like to break the monthlies down. I think information when we break them down into segments. I kind of think with everything that goes on astrologically during the average month, just trying to look at a 1 month over, kind of general and vague. So I like to be a little bit more thorough in my readings for you guys. I hope that you find them helpful. Alrighty then, let's start with your environment this time, Aries. Oh, this is nice. I'm liking your environment. It looks like this is an environment that you're actually enjoying, that you like. There you wish would happen maybe a little bit more quickly because I am seeing patience as you're in your environment. And I'm also seeing you building your resources as you're in your environment. So this is a very supportive environment that helps you to build your resources in a patient way, not in a frantic way or a hurried way. And it's also an environment that you enjoy. So very cool. Happy to see that for you. Next thing that we're looking at talks to me about your subconscious leanings during this time frame. It looks like you're thinking about something that it looks like there's been some type of betrayal that you're thinking about. And it looks to me like there's some kind of unfinished business that you have with somebody. And it may be because there was some kind of betrayal involved and you're considering how can you move forward with this person towards some kind of goal or target, something that you're shooting for with them, something that you can't do by yourself. You have to have this other person involved in it. And so it looks to me like you want to pick that back up and move forward successfully with that. And so you are, in your subconscious, you're really working on how do I make that happen in spite of the betrayal that's already happened here. How do I get things to move forward successfully in that situation? So that's what we've got going on in your subconscious. Next thing we're looking at talks to me about your learning style and also your communication style during this time frame. I do feel like you're paying very close attention to the things that are going on around you and you're picking up information Even when people don't realize you're picking up information. You may be overhearing conversations and people don't realize you're overhearing them. Not even saying you're doing it intentionally. I mean, you could be, but not necessarily, and I'm not so sure that I even want to say that. But I do think that just by being aware of picking up a lot of information that you wouldn't have if you were just kind of la-di-da through your day with your headset on. There are some things that you would like to find out more about, and it looks like there's some kind of shield between you and that information that is showing up here. So this information about a person, or maybe you want to get started in a class and there's some kind of delay or obstacle around that. But there's this bit of information that you're really looking for, but just seems to be an obstacle. Like it's almost like as soon as you feel like you could touch that information, it sort of disappears type of thing. Other things that we have going on as far as learning style, that you are very methodical in your learning. You're able to take the information that you have and build upon it to come up with new information. However, I feel like you may be being a little bit distracted in some cases during this week by your emotions as you're trying to find out new information or learn some things. So, next thing that we have coming up is communication style during this particular time frame. Wow, we saw this at the end of the last time frame. This is showing up again though. Communication style, there is somebody that you're cutting out. You're not communicating with them. You're not interacting with them. You're keeping them at bay. For other people, I think that you have drawn a line in the sand with them. You have said, you know what, I will interact with you in such and such a way if this happens and only if this happens. So basically I feel like you've communicated an ultimatum to somebody during this time frame. And the last thing that we have seeing about your communication, there is some communication that you're just not sharing. There are some information that you're just not sharing with other people. And I feel like that is around your feelings right now, Aries. You're just not ready to open the door and just let anybody see what's going on as far as how you're feeling about things right now. All right. La da da da. Next thing we're looking at is work. So we're going to look at that work that is how you make a living first, and then we'll look at inner work after that. So it does look like you're going back to work coming up during this week. That's interesting. Didn't you go back to work last month? Huh. All right, I'm not sure why that's showing up, but it does look like you're going back to work. Looks like pay is good. You're pretty happy with the pay that you're receiving when you do go back to work. Maybe you're going back to work at a place you used to work before. But I do feel like for the people that you're working for, the company that you're working for, maybe things aren't going so well overall, although you're being paid and you were called back or you're back at work, okay? As far as inner work, I feel like there is some healing that's coming in around here, and I think that this healing probably has to do with emotions. Some of it just has to do with the passage of time, that enough time has gone by that you're starting to see things with a different perspective, and so you're starting to heal up on some things emotionally at this point. Next thing that we have going on, Aries, for you, talks to me about that part of you that's growing or expanding right now. It looks to me like there's somebody that you feel very comfortable around. Like you feel like you can be yourself. You don't have to hide things. You don't have to pretend certain things. You can just be yourself around this person. Problem is that you guys are not really interacting with each other so much right now. And I think where you're growing or expanding is you're kind of trying to sneak in the side door is how this is coming across to me. It's almost like you guys have been very consciously not interacting with each other, and now you're trying to You're trying to come in the side door and just, I think you're trying to come back into interacting with that person without addressing the issues that had you not interacting before. You're trying to just be real cool about it and kind of come back into their interactions on the down low, really. I think you could try that. I don't think you're going to get away with it to the point that you would like to. You might get away with a lot, but I don't think you're going to get away with it completely. That's what it feels like. Okay, Aries, let's look next at those things that you stand for. It looks like you're going back to something old. Something that, excuse me, this isn't going back. This is going away. You're going forward into a situation that is supportive emotionally for you, and you're moving into a situation where there's a lot of communication. Maybe this is what we just talked about. Maybe you managed to get in sideways and now get in the side door, and now there's a lot of communication. But I feel like doing this is a part of moving away from something that was drama-filled or that had a lot of negative energy that was dragging you down. And now you're talking to somebody who starts to make you feel uplifted and like you're a decent person after all. I don't know, that's just what I got, guys. You know you are decent people, right? Sometimes other people convince us otherwise, but that's never true. Okay, let's look next at how other people perceive you. Getting over a heartache. I like that. We just had the heartache show up, what, the last time frame? So getting over it already, that's really good. You are finding some happiness, definitely. But you are still carrying a grudge. It's quite plain here that you're still carrying a grudge, even though you're getting over things. You still wouldn't mind if you had an opportunity to present some kind of revenge. I'm not thinking that you're trying to create that opportunity, but if something came up, I'm not sure 100% that you would pass it up. You would definitely consider it. Okay, but you're definitely in a much better space though. You're much happier. You are healing up, and that's a good thing to see. Alrighty. Next thing that we're looking at is that flex time during this period. This is where things start to change a little bit for you. You are still feeling pretty broke, but you are getting some money stashed back in savings anyway. I feel like this is interesting. Some of you may be getting stuff stashed back in savings because of somebody having a fit. And that fit made you motivated to start stashing back some money for some reserves, for some emergency reserves or whatever. But definitely, you're stashing back some money. You may be eating ramen noodles, but you're putting some money in savings. Thank you very much. And I think, like I said, I think that this was motivated by somebody really having a big fit. Or else you're stashing money away and somebody's having a big fit because you're doing that while you're eating ramen noodles. That could be going on too, actually. Alright, what else is going on at the same time that you're stashing money away and getting people all in an uproar? Uh-oh. There's definitely a situation that is not over. And the reason I say uh-oh is because this is a situation that you're not very hopeful about already. This may be our situation where we saw in the last time frame where you gave somebody a second chance and it didn't work out really well. Well, now that person's coming back and they're saying, oh, well, can you give me another chance? You're not feeling very hopeful about it. And I think you're digging for some information before you decide if you're going to give them another chance or not. You may be even saving up money because you figure if I do decide to give this other person a second chance, I'm going to need to have some cash on hand. All right, let's look at what else is going on at the same time. Look at this. This person's coming back and saying, give me another chance. You're spending some time alone. You're really thinking this over. You're just not sure you're going to jump right in there. You're really figuring out, what are my priorities? What am I going to settle for? What's really good here? What's really good here? And I think you're, I think even as you go into that that mode of just thinking things over, kind of hermit mode almost, I think you are communicating with the person. You're telling them, look, I got to think about this. I'm not so sure that I'm all about this anymore. And I think you're going into hermit mode to have a chance to get some perspective and really think about what's the truth of the situation here. Okay. So, let's see what's going on at the end of the week. You guys, we have some real happiness showing up here, and I like that. I feel like that is shared experiences with somebody else. But at the same time that we have this happiness, there's definitely the sense of caution. You are getting prepared for, you're getting prepared for big challenges, basically. So you're going into this, things are happy right now. You're kind of going into this, whatever this is, you're going into this expecting the other shoe to drop at any moment. And for it to be just done. So you're going into this, but you're not going into it blind. You are making preparations for the just in case. Okay. All right, so let me close this out, take a break, come back, and we'll look at the next time frame. Okay, Aries, we're back again, and this time we are looking at the time frame from October 18th through the 24th. 18th through the 24th. Why do we have some cards turn the wrong direction? I must have put these cards up backwards for your last time frame. Yep, these are the same cards we had last time. Why you gonna do me like that? Why you gonna do me like that? Oh, there's another one. Gotta watch me, guys. Thought I had them. Okay. Let's try this again. Three's a charm, right? Okay, I think we're doing well now. Well, your first card just fell. This just tells me, Aries, when something like this happens, because it's really rare that I would put cards into the deck upside down. So it's really rare. And this just tells me that when I go to pick up a deck and haven't realized that there's issues with it, you've got some things going on during this time frame that is going to be surprising, and things aren't going to be running quite so smoothly. Unfortunately, I hate to tell you. I would like to just say, oh, this is just me being sloppy. But unfortunately, anything that happens has a meaning whenever we're looking at a reading like this. So I'm very careful not to be sloppy. The fact that this happened is definitely an indication that there are some things that are kind of getting by you during this time frame that are not working out exactly the way you thought that they would. Oh, you showed up in your own reading, Aries. You guys are in the environment. The card for Aries is the Emperor. Large and in charge. You know, you Aries, you'd like to be in charge. You guys are the alphas of any group. Alrighty. You guys lead through enthusiasm. Aries. Okay, so I am looking at your environment, and your environment is any place you have energy or effort invested. What I'm seeing here is that you have a secret. You're still holding on to some kind of secret. We did get a little hint of this secret in the last time frame. You're still holding on to this secret, and whatever this secret is, Aries, I think it's helping you to get your mojo back. It's helping you to get your self-confidence back. It's helping you to feel like, okay, I've got this, whatever this might happen to be. Your confidence is coming up there because of the secret that you're holding. It's like the proverbial ace in the hole that you have that hasn't been revealed yet. It's kind of funny. Of course, I'm a Scorpio. We know that information is power. So it's kind of funny to see you holding that, and that's giving you so much confidence. It makes me really curious. What is that secret? What is your secret, Aries? All right, next we're looking at your subconscious leanings during this time. You've got some kind of situation going on where things just have not been going well, and you have not been happy. And not only have you not been happy, I think somebody else has not been happy either. And it looks like you're really feeling restricted in this situation. Like you're feeling like, even though nobody seems to be happy here, it looks to me like you feel like you can't make a move. You can't do anything to change this or shake this up. And so your subconscious is really working on, okay, how do I change this perspective? Because obviously that's not going to work for you or anybody else. Next thing we're looking at are things that you stand for. Aries. What are you going back to? You're going back to something from the past. Now, Aries, this is not something that you are going to hear in very many of my readings because I just don't give a lot of weight to this at all, ever, in my life or in other people's lives. But there is somebody who sort of has a spell on you. For some of you, that's going to be literal, like this is going to be somebody who's paid someone to put a spell on you to get, to bring love back. But I think for a lot of you, it's not so much a spell per se, as much as this person knows exactly what it is that triggers you. And they use that to control you. They use that to bring you back. Because you have a situation where you have gone back to some kind of partnership, probably romantic, but doesn't have to be, but some kind of partnership that involves somebody who is artificially manipulating your free will. So either they're triggering you or they have put a spell on you. For most of you, I'm going to say it's actually a trigger, but I would say 20% we're talking actual real deal spell. So you're going back to a partnership. You know it was bad for you in the past. You're going back to it anyway. Why? Because this person knows how to trigger you. They know how to say the right things, do the right things, and suck you back into their web. All right. That was interesting. Because this is actually... I think that's all I want to say about that. I'm going to let that go there. So next thing I want to look at is work. Workity work, work. I do think that you're learning something new. You're finding out some new information at work. I think you're also enjoying work, and you may be involved in some kind of project, or maybe even leading some kind of project that you're excited about whenever it comes to work. You've been given some kind of authority. This isn't like you're the owner of the company or the CEO, but some level of authority here. I think you're really enjoying it. As far as inner work, what do we have going on here? You are really paying attention to those things that make you happy and that make you feel fired up. You're focused on that, and even you're exploring some new things to see if they make you happy and feel fired up and excited and enthusiastic or not. Very cool. That kind of inner work is always fun. All right, so next we're looking at that part of your personality which is being grown or expanded right now. La da 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 da, la da da da. Okay, Aries, you are balancing on a tightrope. You're trying to juggle things. You've got so much going on, and you're trying to keep it all straight here. And actually, I think you are keeping it all straight. Technically, I wouldn't say that anything is slipping through the cracks here, but what I do feel like is that it's not fun. It's not fun for you. And it's starting to make you feel very low energy. Okay? So if you have too many projects going on, you're not working any of them enough to get any pay out of them or any fun or anything good out of them, and it's leaving you depleted. Aries, if you're trying to date multiple people, which this is how it more strongly comes across, if you're trying to date multiple people, you're going to feel like you're not having that much fun. You're going to be your energy is going to be too split up for you to actually enjoy that or have fun. And it's just going to make you feel like you really don't want to date anybody. Or if this is just too many things on your plate, you're just going to start feeling like, you know what, I don't want to do anything. I don't have any energy left. Okay? Now, take that as it applies. Don't try to make it fit. If it fits, it fits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Don't try to make it fit. All right. Next thing that we're looking at here, Aries, talks to me about those things that you stand for. Wow. You haven't been very happy, although your money situation is good. You just don't feel like you have anything to celebrate in spite of your money situation being good. And it makes you feel like you don't necessarily want to work so hard. You don't want to kill yourself for money anymore. La da 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 da. How is another person seeing you? They are recognizing that you've had some type of epiphany here, definitely. And I feel like this other person has feelings for you. This other person is in love with you. But they also feel like they're not sure if they can trust you. That whole side door thing. Not everything has been settled between you and this other person. And so they don't know that they can trust you. But they do feel like you had an epiphany, and I think that seems like an important thing to them. I think they wish they could trust you more. Okay. Next thing that we're looking at is your flex time during this time frame, Aries. La da 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 da. So I do see you collaborating with somebody on a goal that you're trying to reach together. And I don't see you reaching this goal by the end of the time frame or by the 24th, but I do see you making heavy-duty progress on making this happen. There's definitely some rebuilding going on. You guys have had to go back and rethink how you want to accomplish this collaboration and sort of almost start from scratch. And so I don't think that this collaboration is going to be reached, right now, excuse me, But I do think that you're on track for it now. You're much more on track for it than what you were before. Okay, what else is going on at the same time? There is something that you've been disappointed with that you're moving away from. Actually, no, I'm going to take that back. That's what would make sense here. But that's not really how the cards are depicting this. There's a situation that has disappointed you, and you're moving towards that situation. And as you're moving towards that situation, I think you're moving away from something or someone that you're attracted to. Why are you doing that, Aries? Let's see, what else is going on? There is a major transformation in the way that you're looking at things happening right now, and maybe that's why we see you moving towards something that disappointed you and away from something that makes you happy. Because of this major transformation in perspective, we see a lot of communication going on between you and somebody who you used to feel really close to, but now not so much. That's the nicest I can say that. Not so much. Okay? Now, la da 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 da. Where do we see you at the end of the week? We see you needing to make a decision. I'm just trying to see what's you and what's another person here. I think you have another person who's in your sphere of influence who is saying to you, you know what, I'm not going to compete for your attention. I'm just not doing it. And I think that this person has walked away rather than compete with you for your attention. Now, where are you putting your attention? Is it on another person? Is it on your phone? Is it on a video game? Is it on an addiction? I don't know. But this person feels like they have to compete for your attention, and they're not down for that. And so they're saying, you know what, if I have to compete, I'm out. And that leaves you feeling lonely and isolated, and it forces you, it's forcing your hand, it's forcing you to make a decision. What do I really want to do? What's really my priority here? And that's where we see you at the end of this time frame, is making that decision. Okay? So let's wrap this up. But by the way, if you guys want to know about this decision or anything else, of course the best thing to do is not a general reading. That just gives you an idea. But if you want to know the specifics and how things are going to go down in your life, the best thing to do is get a private reading. Anyway, let me wrap this up. I'm going to take a break. I'll come back and we'll look at the last part of October for you. See you soon. Alrighty, Aries, last time back to take a peek at this month for you. Let's see what's going on. Let's see, what are we looking at this time? October 25th through the 31st. Let's see what comes up. See what comes up. Life is very interesting, isn't it? Watching the flows of energy and how things change and how things stay the same. Alrighty. Let's start with your environment. Environment is any place where you have energy or effort invested. It looks like you are making some long-term plans regarding your environment. You're very happy with the environment that you're in, but you are waiting to actually enact those long-term plans. You're just putting them in place right now. That's nice. That's sweetness there. Sweetness. Okay, looking at subconscious leanings. Aries, it looks like you're thinking about somebody else who is very much single and independent, self-sufficient. And it looks to me like you're really feeling some kind of confusion about this person. Maybe even about why they're single. And also there's this sense of, yeah, there is this sense of your what are you exactly doing here? I think you're communicating with this person. I think you're communicating with them your confusion about the idea about why they're single. And you're also communicating with them that you're not very happy about them being single. So I don't know. Are you a parent that wants somebody to marry off quickly? Are you wanting somebody to go ahead and to connect with you and not be single? There's a lot of confusion here around why this person is single for you. And there's some moodiness, there's some grumpiness about this. You don't understand it and you're not happy about why this person is single. Okay, I can't say that I've ever seen that in a reading before. That's quite interesting. What are you guys doing, Aries? All right, next thing that we're looking at talks to me about communication style and learning style. As far as learning style, I do think you're very focused on finding out about particular things, and you could very well be digging for that information, possibly even stalking somebody if the thing you're trying to find out about is a person. Doesn't have to be a person though, but very focused digging for information, definitely. I think whatever it is, whatever information that you're looking for, there is a lot of emotion around that information. I've got basically 2 cards saying that. And that you're trying to find information as quickly as you possibly can. I think you're picking up information pretty quickly. Yep. All right, let's look at communication style during this time frame. I do think that you're communicating with somebody, letting them know exactly how much that you care about them. And it looks to me like you're kind of trying to keep the peace in the conversations that you have with them. This person may be saying some things that could potentially get you stirred up. Maybe this is our person that knows how to push your triggers, push your buttons. But you are intentionally, consciously keeping the peace here. You're not biting on their bait. You're not biting on their bait. And I do think this is somebody who you're talking to who's really trying to get you to bite on some bait and trying to get you to react in a big way. And I think that this is definitely this is a female for most of you, and this is somebody who is really basically exploding like an emotional volcano out of frustration from the idea that you're not biting on their bait and you're not going to engage with them in any kind of fight. It looks like that's the person you're expressing how much you care for them. Aries, your life is complicated. Your life is complicated. Okay. Next thing we're looking at here talks to me about your work. Okay. Work is definitely not your strongest feature as we go through this week. It's definitely not over. It's not done. I think you may be going back to work at a place that you've worked before, or You're going back to doing things in a way that used to be done before, whenever it comes to work, and that seems like a pleasant thing. That doesn't seem like a bad thing, but it seems like work is just not that strong right now. It's definitely not over, but it's not really in a strong position. Now, as far as inner work, there is somebody, it looks like, Aries, who's coming back from the past, and I feel like this person that's coming back from the past is one who has sort of beat up your self-esteem in the past. And so, even though you're glad to hear from them and glad to see them, I think you may be a little bit hesitant about communicating or interacting with them at this point. And that's your inner work, is kind of figuring out where do you stand with that. La da 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 da, la da 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 da. Next thing we're looking at is that part of your personality which is being grown or expanded as we go through this particular time frame. This is really similar to the last time frame. Aries, I feel like there's somebody who is cutting off communications with you because the relationship just isn't working out, whether it's a romantic relationship, friendship, whatever. So there's somebody that is cutting off communications with you, and I think you're feeling left out with this situation because it's not working out. I think you wanted it to work out. They're not nearly as interested in that as you. Alrighty, next thing that we have coming up talks to me about those things that you stand for, Aries. La da 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 da. Looks to me like you're being really patient while somebody near you makes a decision about something, because you're not wanting something to be over. And I think this other person is trying to make a decision about whether this is over, whether interactions with you are over or not. And so you being patient about this is something that somebody has confronted you about, and you've had to defend the idea that, you know what, I can't push this person. I need to be patient and see what they come up with. How does the other person see you? They see you as somebody who is really stressed out, who has boundaries up, and really that they see you as somebody who really doesn't know how to move forward. So you're saying, you know what, I'm just being patient, I'm letting this person figure it out, and they're saying, you just don't know how to move forward. Isn't it funny what a perspective will do? It's all in the perspective. Alright, next thing that we're looking at talks to me about, as my air conditioner gets ready to blast off to Mars. Okay, next thing that we're looking at does talk about your flex point during this time frame, so where things start to change for you. Oh, this is nice. This is like basically almost exactly the opposite of your flex point from last time frame. This is saying that you're collaborating with somebody, and this is a happy collaboration. It's one that is working out. It's one where you guys are sharing a lot of honest and open communication for this collaboration, and where you were feeling restricted before, now you're feeling like you're released. You know what you're doing moving forward. You know why you're doing things. You know how to do things and make things work, and it looks like things are working out really well, so that's nice. At the same time that this is happening, you are picking up responsibilities. You're doing things to make things fair. And it feels to you like there's really not any other choice. I don't feel like you're being forced into it. I just think that you feel like that's the only way to go here, is to make things fair and pick up responsibility and even things out. Also, at the same time that things are working out well in this one situation, you have another situation that is just kind of blowing up. And this is one where there's a lot of obsession, a lot of toxicness. This to me looks like there's a relationship where there's been a lot of dishonesty, a lot of corruption. And this is just exploding, basically, or imploding on itself. All at the same time. Yeah, that you're picking up responsibility somewhere else, and that you're working on a goal with somebody to move forward, and that's going forward well. So it looks to me like there's somebody here in your sphere of influence who isn't thrilled about you being happy. You know, they just want you to be right next to them, right by their side. And if you can't be happy, well, at least you can be right next to them, right by their side. You would rather be happy. They can't handle that. They can't handle that because now they're not happy because you're not right there. All right, where do we see you at the end of this particular time frame? We see you actually really victorious in a situation, in a goal that you've been working on with somebody else. Remember, we keep seeing this goal show up, this goal or this target. That is something that it takes more than you working on. It takes somebody else working on as well. We see you finally being victorious in this. Very happy to see that. What's interesting is that for you to be victorious in this situation, there's another situation around you that sort of pushed you into being victorious in this one, and that is where somebody else has cut off being generous with you. They've been giving you something, whether it's support or finances, or whether it's just, you know, praise or accolades, whatever. They've cut that off. And it's left you feeling a little bit down, a little bit hopeless. But that has actually motivated you and pushed you to move forward in this other situation and accomplish this goal that you've been trying to accomplish for a while now successfully. And you are very successful at it. Okay? Like I said, you have a complicated life this month, Aries. But that is your month. Thank you so much for stopping by and being here. I appreciate all the thumbs ups and all the shares if you think somebody else might benefit from this video. Also, thank you to those of you who are ordering private readings to get clarification on some of these things that come up so that you know what's going on, especially just for you in your life, not just for the collective in general, but specifically for you. It is because of all of you guys' support that I'm able to do what I love to do for my living. So thank you, really, truly, from the bottom of my heart. Everybody have a fantastic month. And if I don't see you here in a reading or in a Reiki session, then I'll see you back the next time around on the next video. Peace out.